Good day. In this tutorial video, you will learn about simple interest. Here are our learning outcomes. So first, we have to define the basic terms and solve the value needed or the unknown in a problem, which is in a simple interest, term of the loan, rate, principal, or final amount. Understanding simple interest is one of the most important and fundamental concepts for mastering your finances. When you input money in a bank, then you may earn interest. And when you borrow money, you may pay interest. Now, an interest is the amount paid by someone who borrows a certain amount of money. This term is commonly used in banks, loans, installments, and investments. It is associated with percent, rate, and the length of time for which the amount of money is borrowed. One of the parts or one of the types of interest is what we call the simple interest. Now, what is simple interest? Simple interest is the simplest and most common type of interest. This type of interest is applicable for a short-term duration, usually in days, weeks, months, or even a few years with not so large amounts of money. Simple interest usually applies to automobile loans or short-term personal loans. Now, these are the terms you should remember as you go through with this course. We have the simple interest. Simple interest is an interest which is computed entirely on the original principal or the original amount. Next, maker, or sometimes called the borrower, is the person who is receiving the amount and will be paying back at the same amount with the interest on the required date or time period. And when we say borrower, is the person who borrows money for any purpose. Now we have also the lender and or the payee. So when we say lender, is the one who invests the money or property, and for payee is the person who is giving the amount which has to be paid on the required date or time period. And when we say interest, is the payment for the use of someone's money for a specified period of time. And we have also time, or sometimes called the term of the loan. And time is the period from the beginning when the money was borrowed to the period that when the money should be returned with additional amount, which is the interest. Now, the rate of interest is the percent of the principal paid for the use of money, or it is the fractional part of the principal that is paid on the loan. Now, for the principal is the amount of money being borrowed, and it is the basis of how much will be paid with the additional compensation for borrowing. For the other terms, we have the final amount, and final amount naman is the sum. You take note, the sum of the principal and the interest which is accumulated at a certain time. Now, for the discounting method and accumulation method, it is both the process of determining the present value in the future. So here are the formulas that we are going to use in this course. First, we have I equals PRT, where I is the interest, P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is the time. Now, we can find for PRT, okay, by just making algebraic methods, okay, to find, for example, P. We have I all over RT. For the rate, I all over PT. For the time, we have I all over PR. Now, we have also the formula for the final amount. Okay, sabi natin kanina, it's the sum of the principal and the interest. Now, whenever the interest is not given, we can still find for the final amount given that the rate and the time and the principal are also given. Okay, so this is the formula. Now, for the interest using the final amount, you just have to subtract the final amount to P. Okay, then we have for the principal using the final amount all over 1 plus RT. So it's just a matter of doing some algebraic methods here to find for each term. Now here are the things you should remember. Okay, first, when time is expressed in months, okay, then it's expressed as T all over 12. Why? Because our time should be always expressed in years. Okay? So, when our time is expressed in months, say you just have to express it as T all over 12 because there are 12 months in a year. Now, when time is expressed in days, then it is expressed as T all over 360 or T all over 365. But we are going to use 360 in our course. Now let's have our example. If a man borrowed 50,000 from a bank for 3 years and 9 months at 4% simple interest, how much interest must he pay at the end of the term of the loan? So we are going to find for the interest. Since it is simple, okay, so we're going to find for the given. So of course the principal amount, the amount being borrowed is 50,000 and the loan term is 3 years and 9 months. Okay, for this month, sabi natin kanina, if this is expressed in months, we have to express it as 9 all over 12. And 9 all over 12 is 0.75. So 3 years and 9 all over 12 is just equivalent to 3.75. Our rate is 4%. If we're going to change it into decimal, just move 2 decimal places from the right of 4. So we have 0.04 as our rate. Now the problem is we have to get the interest. So we are sure that the formula is I equals PRT. Okay, so it's just a matter of substituting each variable. So we have P, which is 50,000, times the rate expressed in decimal, 0.04 times the time, which is 3.75 using calculator. Then we'll come up with an interest of 7,500 pesos. Next, how much is the interest in 2,500 for 300 days at 3.15%? So again, we are looking for the interest. Okay, so that's simple interest. 2.5 here is our principal. 300 days is our time and 3.15 is our rate. Now for the rate, if we have 3.15, again, so just have to move 2 decimal places here, so to come up with 0.0315. Now since it is simple interest, so we have I equals PRT, so it's just a matter of substituting each term. So in time, as you notice here, we have 300. Since it is expressed in days, so we just have to divide it by 360. And multiplying these three, will come up with 65.63 as the interest. Let's proceed to number 3. Seth will pay an interest of 5,750 pesos at 5.75%. if the original amount given to him was 12,340, when did he borrow the money? So first we have to identify the given. So we all know that this is the interest. 12,340 is the original amount, meaning it is the principal amount. And then obviously this one is our rate. We just have to express it in decimal form. So we'll just have 0.0575. Now, what is asked is, when did he borrow the money? So meaning, the unknown term here is the time. Okay, remember the time here should be expressed in years. So we just have the formula T equals IL over PR. So just substitute and then evaluate. Then we'll have 8.10 years. Okay, so set borrow the money 8.10 years ago. Let's have number 4. If Bricks deposit 450,000 pesos at 11%, how long will it take him to earn 120,000 interest? Of course, when you deposit money in a bank, that money will earn an interest. But how long will it take Bricks to earn 120,000 pesos? Okay, so he deposit 450,000, so this is our principal, and the interest to be earned is 120,000 at 11% or 0.11. Okay, so using the formula for time, we have IL over PR, so just have to perform this one. Then we'll have 2.42 years. Okay, so after 2.42 years, Bricks money will earn 120,000 in pesos. Okay, now let's have example number 5. Amy borrowed 65,230 pesos. 5 years later, she repaid the loan together with the interest with a payment of 120,500. What rate of interest did she pay? Now for the given, of course, this amount is the principal amount because this was the original amount borrowed by Amy. And then 5 years later, this one is our time. Then she repaid the loan together with the interest. Okay, when you pay the loan together with its interest, that's already our final amount. So this amount, 120,500 pesos, is our final amount. Now for us to find for the rate of interest, first we have to identify first the interest. Okay, so using the given, this given, we're going to find the interest using the formula final amount minus the principal amount. Okay, so just have to subtract these two. So 120,500 less 65,230. Then the interest is 55,270. Now using the interest, of course, we can now find for the rate. So that's R equals IL over PT. Okay, so the interest is 55,270. And then the principal is this one. And the time of loan or the term of loan is 5 years. So just have to calculate this one to come up with 0.1695. Take note that in this course, we're going to have 4 decimal places. Okay, and then convert it to percent because rate of interest, that's 16.95%. Next, number 6. What rate of interest was used if Pink borrowed 1,500 for 3 months and paid 300 interest? Okay, of course, the given here, the principal is 1,500, the rate is 3 months, and the interest is 300. Now, using our formula, which is R equals I all over PT, Then 300 is our I. Principal amount is 1,500. Now here, since our time is expressed in months, we just have to express it again by 3 all over 12. Okay? So we'll have 0.08, or that's 80%. Number 7. A man paid 520 pesos interest on a loan for 345 days at 3.25% simple interest rate. How much is the original loan? So we are going to find for the principal amount here. Okay, so the given amount, the interest, okay, so the interest here is 520 pesos and 345 days is our time. 3.25 when expressed into decimal will have 0.0325. Now for the original loan, of course, we have the formula P all over I, P equals I all over RT. So 520. So since our time here is expressed in days, just have to divide it by 360, okay, para maging year pa rin siya. So if you're going to calculate this one, will come up 16,695.65 pesos. So this was the original amount that a man borrowed. Okay, lastly, Shaun borrowed 305,120 pesos for 25 years at 3.35%. How much must he repay at the end of the loan? Okay, so how much must he repay? So the given here is this amount is the principal amount, 25 years, and 3.35%, that's 0.036. So solution, we have first the final amount, P times 1 plus RT. So we'll have this amount, or you can also use the I first, PRT. So the interest is 274,608, and then you just have to add this one to the principal amount. Okay, so that's the final amount. So we'll come up with the same answer, which is 579,728. So that is all about simple interest. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.